Hello, I'm Adam White. Welcome to Spring TV on sport927.com.au. Once again, we're out at Caulfield this morning, just 24 hours out from the big race, the $2.5 million BMW Caulfield Cup. We've just had the final word press conference speaking to a number of both the key trainers and jockeys going into the race, and we'll get to their thoughts shortly. But first of all, let's go to track manager Jason Kerr with a final word on the condition of the track going into the third day of the Caulfield Cup Carnival.
Track rating at the moment, Keith, we did the penetrometer about 8 o'clock this morning. It came up a good 3 with a penetrometer of 5.01, so fairly similar to how it's been the last two meetings. What we're doing today, putting on 10 mils of irrigation starting about an hour ago. That'll be finished about 3 o'clock this afternoon, so I envisage that'll push it into the dead 4 range by the time that's got into the profile, and yeah, probably come up dead 4 in the morning, I think, and improve during the day.
So to be honest, it looks like it's going to be absolutely perfect conditions for Saturday. Well, let's go straight to the trainers now and the jockeys going into the race. And we'll start with Mark Kavanagh. We've been following him for most of the week, but his final word, well, he's maybe getting a little bit cautious or a little bit nervous because now he's talking down the chances of the red-hot favourite, Maldivian.
I was wondering whether the fact that the favourite Maldivian has not raced at 2,400 metres was one's negative in all the boxes that he's ticked.
Well, look, there's certainly got to be questions asked about that, but you've got to take that on trust a bit. The hype has been amazing on the horse, and look, maybe everyone's took off on him too early. Maybe he can't run the 2,400. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yet, conversely, he's been strong at his past 3 runs at the mile and a quarter or 2,000 metres, hasn't he?
Well, he gives everybody an indication that that's going to be where he's suited, but nothing's proven until you try it.
One thing that is fact, that Barrier 1 hasn't won this race since 1941, which is quite amazing. Your horse has Barrier 1. Does that concern you?
Well, there's a lot of hoodoos here. Yeah, it does concern me, really, because, you know, there can't be sort of 65 slow horses drew Barrier 1 for the last few years. And, you know, short price favourites haven't got a real flash record in this race.
Well, the David Hayes stable has 4 runners in the race. Gary Fennessy was representing the stable today. This is what he thought of the 4 runners, including Torquay, the winner of last year's race.
Let's get the last word on each of your chances. Last year's winner, Torquay, he looked fantastic in the replay, didn't he? But what a battle you're having getting him back into form.
Yeah, he's coming off a tendon injury, Keith, and it's a mind matter with him. You've got to get his mind right, and everything seems sound with him. He seems in great order. His work's been terrific. It's just a matter of him clicking on in the race, and hopefully now he's getting to his right trip, he will. But you know, you sort of got you just don't know till he does it.
And Blue Monday, another import, he's battling to find form. I wonder if it's good enough. I mean, the only good point was that he was making ground at the finish of the Toowoomba, went 7th, wasn't he?
Yeah, the thing that bothers me about him is he come over here as a 2,000 metre horse and he's been too slow. So hopefully coming here he's a mile and a half horse.
Right.
He's a bit of a, like he's fitting well and everything seems good with him. It's just a matter of him finding a bit of his English form.
Surely Animato's your best chance.
She's the pick of them. She's come right at the right time. She's a very good class mare, and and with the weight and got a barrier, so she should get a good run, and she'd be the one that I'd be picking out of her.
Yet she has to make up almost 4 lengths on Cav's favourite Maldivian.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't run the mile and a half, she will.
Okay. Could I just ask you firstly, Gary? Obviously, Maldivian's a horse to beat. Do you think he deserves to be a short price favourite for this BMW Caulfield Cup?
Oh, definitely. I think if Miss Finland was in the race, she'd be the same price. So, he's beaten her, so he's entitled to be the price.
Well, we all know that Maldivian is the overwhelming favourite going into the race, but another horse with plenty of support over the last couple of weeks is Eskimo Queen from the Mike Moroney stable. Craig Newitt will be the rider tomorrow, and he wouldn't be swapping his ride for any other in the race.
She's proven at the trip, and her runs this time in have been good. The other day at Flemington, it was a funny sort of track. She gave him a long start and probably just... her run ended probably furlong out, but she's drawn to get a good run, and hopefully we have a trouble-free run. It should be hard to beat.
Firmish track, how's that suit Eskimo Queen?
Yeah, probably ideal if we had a little bit of sting out of it, but a good track form's not too bad, so we're going into the race pretty confident.
Fantastic run, fourth in the Underwood here. Then was her midfield finish a flop at Flemington?
Yeah, there was quite a few runs in that race at Flemington that was sort of below par, and without being disappointed, you couldn't really get carried away with her run, but she did stand him up a big start, and to her credit, got within a couple of lengths of him, sort of halfway up the straight, and then her run probably ended without fading away, just held her own. But she strips a lot fitter this time in. Her work's been terrific all week, and really looking forward to it.
And your riding's been terrific so far this carnival. What's your degree of confidence tomorrow, Craig?
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything in the race. Obviously, Mark's horse is the horse to beat, but in saying that, there's not only two in it. There's quite a number of chances, and I think the horse with the best run will win.
Well, there's certainly not as many overseas runners going into the race this year, but Purple Moon, the Kamani stable, is pretty confident that they can cause a bit of an upset tomorrow. This is their thoughts, both Kamanis going into the race.
Before he won that E-ball, which is 2,800 metres, he won at Glorious Goodwood over 2,400 metres. It's very good form now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're pleased with the horse, and he's done everything we've asked him to do since we've had him, so let's hope he carries on.
I'm very happy with how he's been going, and he's as well as he has been before his races in England, so couldn't be happier, really.
Is there any indication that just sticks out above the rest to suggest to you that he's spot on?
Well, it's hard to say because he's not the kind of horse that gives you very obvious signs. Before the E-ball, actually, I thought he was a bit flat and not particularly well in himself, and then he goes and wins like that. So.
Oh, he's better now, is he? Something?
Well, who knows? But he's given me all the right signs.
Well, compared to the English days, he's got a very good turn of foot. He comes from sort of a midfield spot in his English races, and in the E-ball at York, he had the race won sort of 2 furlongs out, and then he kicked on from then. So, and the race at Goodwood, he come from sort of he was last. Yeah, he was well in arrears, sort of 2 furlongs out, and he's come from a long way back, and they weren't stopping in front. He's picked up really well to go and win. So, in English terms, he's to stay with a good turn of foot. So, hopefully, like I said, he can just translate that into the Caulfield Cup tomorrow. It sometimes can be difficult for those overseas horses to jump out and be prominent and get a good spot and to travel well in these types of races. So hopefully he can do that,
Okay, so that is the final word from some of the key trainers and jockeys going in to tomorrow's $2.5 million BMW Caulfield Cup. Good luck if you're having a bet. We'll be back next week looking ahead to Cox Plate Week on sport927.com.au.